Welcome back to this channel IBMI classes. I'm creating this video to have a session on um, validating SQL query using SQL RPGLE program. So here we have a requirement like we are taking input from user of SQL query. So that can be any SQL query like select from multiple tables like join, anything else. So we are just taking input from the user SQL query, and we are just going to parse that SQL query, that whether this SQL query which is inputted by the user is correct or not. So basically here what we are doing, we are invoking a DB2 for IBM SQL parser in our RPG program, and will validate the SQL query with the help of that. So how can we do that? So for that purpose we have an API available for us, which is QSQCHKS QSQchecks API, which is actually checks the syntax of the SQL statement inputted to that API. So this API will internally call the DB2 for IBMI SQL parser and will check the syntax of an SQL statement. So this will basically use the interactive SQL syntax rules when we are parsing or we are checking the validity of an SQL statement uh, which is inputted to the program, or which is inputted to the API. So we can use the other rules of the languages by specifying the language names. So in case if we are not specifying the languages, so we will in that case this API will be using the interactive SQL syntax rules to validate that query, SQL query, which is inputted to the API. Now finally, if once that API gets executed, we will be having the result, whether that query have any error or not. So we will be having the column or row error position in the SQL statement along with some message. So here what we do, we will be inputting the SQL query and we will be validating whether it is correct or not. So we are not going to take a approach, or you can say a bad approach, or like we are going to take input a query from user and then executing the query and then checking whether the SQL code is zero or not, or that query executed successfully or not. So be a, that should not be a good approach to do this requirement. So here we will be simply validating that statement, that whether this is correct or not. So we don't need to execute that statement. So for that purpose we will be needing a parser. So we don't have our own parser, so we will be using the DB2 for IBM SQL parser, which is basically invoked by this API, QSQchecks API. So here I'm defining a variable named SQL, so which is an statement variable. Here we will be inputting the SQL query. So now, since we have taken this as 16322 length, we can reduce the size as per our convenience. So we can take 1000 here. So if this is 1000, then this has to be 1000 also, because ultimately we are passing this SQL to the QSQchecks API. So these are the parameters to this API. First one is SQL query. So SQL query would be this SQL, which is select a star from something something, which will be passed to this. This is the length of that SQL query, which is calculated after trimming that SQL query. This is the number of records to scan. So here the number of statements will be 1, because we are going to validate only one statement at a time when we are specifying the language as star none. Means we are not using any language here like COBOL, RPG, ILE, RPG things, where we have a source member and we are executing or validating multiple queries within the execute SQL or end execute block. So here just we are taking a simple query as an input, and we are validating that query. So the language would be star here, and the number of records to be scanned is, or number of statements to be scanned is 1. This is QSQ underscore options. So here we will be specifying the keys, which is 1 here in this case for SQL case. Now this is actually a DS, QSQ underscore options, and then QSQ underscore statement, that is the statement info. So once that statement SQL query got executed using QSQ checks, that SQL query dot validated using QSQ checks, then we have an information of that SQL query, whether that has any error or anything, or other informations if that has any error. This is the size of the statement info. So this is the size of this QSQ underscore statement DS, and then this is the number of records processed. So this is also an output field. So this is output field, this is output DS, and this is error code DS, which is also an output DS, because if in case we will be having an issue while executing QSQ checks API, then we will be having the exception ID error code have some data. Now we have 3 DS here, 1, 2 and 3, out of which these two are output, and this is an also output field. Now we will be summing up these fields: length, number of record, language, input size, and making them a DS named statement. So here we are initializing the number of records as 1, language is star none. This is the size of that input size is the size of QSQ statement DS, that is statement info DS, which will be output to API. This is the number of records processed. This is also an output field. Now the left are QSQ underscore options, QSQ underscore statement, and error code. So the options will be having these subfields: number of keys, key, length of data, and key data, or the data. So data will be having possible values star none, star SQL, star system. So if you are not sure which syntax I am using, star system or star SQL, so then we can specify star none here. So if we are knowing that we are using slash always, then we can specify star sys while qualifying a file, or if you are using dot, we can specify star SQL. If you are not knowing that what maybe here there, so we can specify star none there. Now this is the QSQ underscore statement, which will be returned by this API in case any error. So which is having this 4 parameter: message file name, message library name, number of statement processed, and this is the statement info DS. So which is based on, which is like DS statement processed. Okay, so the statement info returned by the statement processed. So this will have these subfields. So QSQ statement having subfield statement info, which is also a DS subfield, and this will be pointed to this one. Now we have subfields: length statement, length of info return, row record number of first byte, column number of first byte, or you can say row number of first byte, column number of first byte, row number of last byte, column number of last byte, row error syntax in case any error occurs, so record number of syntax error, column number of syntax error. This will have the SQL message ID in case any issue with the syntax of that query which is inputted to us. This is the SQL state. This is the length replace message, length of the message replace text, and these are the message replacement text data which is received by us. And this is the error code DS, which is having bytes provided, bytes available, exception ID, reserved, message data. So error code DS, and this QSQ underscore statement, which is having statement info sub DS, or that sub DS is having based on this one. So these two are different different in itself. So error code is related with the API, and this QSQ underscore statement is related with the syntax error of that query which is inputted. So in case we are having difficulty in executing that code API, we will be having the values in this error code, and in case the syntax error in the query, then we will be having the values populated in that DS. Q underscore SQ underscore statement info, and then these subfields having data. So here what I'm doing, I'm clearing the SQL variable, I'm evaluating the select star from FRPM. So I'm writing wrong FRPM case 3PF, and then I am passing the length of this SQL variable by trimming this to statement dot length. Clearing the exception ID. If a statement dot length is less than equal to 0, then we are returning from the program, says though no SQL is inputted to the program or is passed to the SQL variable. Now we are calling the SQL QSQ checks API, where we are passing SQL, then length, number of records to be scanned, language standard, QSQ underscore options, QSQ underscore statement which is output. In case if any error, we will be having the values in the subfields of this QSQ underscore statement DS. This is the input size of this statement DS, statement info DS, and this is the number of records processed, which is also an output. This is the error code. In case if any issue with this API execution, then we will be having values in error code. If exception ID is not equal to blank, means we are having error while executing the API. So we can set any message here, or we can code as per our convenience. So it depends upon the user what value he wants to return to the calling program. If in case he is having issue with by invoking the API. Then in else part means the uh, else part is like we have successfully executed the API QSQ checks. In that case, we will be checking whether SQL message ID is not equal to blank. So if it is not blank, means there is some issue with the syntax of the query which is inputted to us. So in case which is if that SQL message ID is not equal to blank, what we will be doing, we will be, so here I'm not writing the logic. So for that purpose, you need to write a CL program. You can do it here, whatever way you can do. You have to write a CL program, and you have to use the send pgm message command or receive message command. So from that you can fetch the data from this QSQL message subfile using this message ID and message data. Sure. And then you will be checking that whether column error syntax is greater than 0, means at what column the error is occurred. Then we will be displaying the error in SQL query. We can return any value, or the data or the SQL code, or whatever we want, every information from this program once we have an error in the SQL syntax query to the return program, calling program. So this point this program ends. Now I am compiling this program. Using star source. Now we will be debugging this program strdbg case 5. Put the breakpoint at line number 1. Call case 5 program. Now we can see we are clearing the SQL variable. Now F10. Now SQL is having this statement query, which is, suppose I am evaluating here, you can take an input to this program and then you can check select star frpm case 3pf. So the length would be 21 here. So the length of this SQL query is 21. Now clearing the exception ID. If length is less than equal to 0, then we will be returning from the program, since no query is input to the program. Now we will be executing this API QSQ checks. Before that, we will be checking the values. SQL is having this statement, and this is the length of this SQL statement. Number of records would be 1. Language would be none. QSQ underscore options set as this one. The fields are already initialized. This would be the output to us. So currently nothing is populated here. Default values are there. This is the input size of this QSQ underscore statement DS, which is this one. And now this is the number of records processed. Currently this has nothing, no value. So this is the default value, I think. And this is the error code, which is also having the default values, no value populated to us. This. Now after executing this API, we can see that if exception ID is not equal to blank, so this API executed successfully because exception ID is blank. Now we will be checking the QSQ underscore statement DS of fields. Now we have this data populated. So we can see that this is the message file name, this is the library QSS, this is the number of statements scanned 1, and this is the SQL message ID SQL 0104. This is the SQL state. This is the length replacement message, length of replacement message 17, and this is the replacement data. This FRPM is having issue, and the valid are from or into. Now if I check here, so we can have this value as well. Row syntax error, row error syntax is having 1. So this is, there is error in first row and on the 10th column. So if I'll check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so 10th, so starting this one, so this has issue. We have data. So now we can what we'll do, so we'll be coming to else part. So inside QSQ statement there is a DS of DS field, QSQ statement, QSQ statement is having this DS field sub as a sub, this DS field, which is also a DS statement info, and having this SQL message ID we are checking. So we will be checking like this one. If QSQ underscore statement dot statement info dot SQL message ID. So this is the subfield of this DS, and this DS is the subfield of this DS. So SQL message ID is SQL 014. Now based on this SQL message ID and the data which is in QSQ underscore statement dot stmt info dot shift of fate message data, we can check, we can retrieve the more useful message from the QSQL message message file, QSQL message file, using a CL program. So we can make a CL program, and inside that we can write the statements like send PGM message or receive message, through which we can fetch the data from message file QSQL MSG. So if I'll do work MSG QSQL MSG, this is the message file, and we are having error SQL 0104. We can see this error, token 1 was not valid. So the token 1 was FRPM. So FRPM was not valid, valid tokens and to f from into the, so those were the valid tokens. So we can replace the data accordingly, so we can reformat the data accordingly by calling that CL program which we will be writing. So here I'm not going to write that. So if anyone needs to have some more formatted data, they can write that code and then compile that make that module, and they can bind that module to this one and then call that procedure. Now if you'll see F11 having this data, so this was the AND1 and this was the AND2, not valid and valid. Now if I'll check column error syntax, if it is greater than 0, I'm displaying the error in PHP job log. So error in SQL query, yes, sure, we can return the value, error value as well. Now if I'll call it again, call case 5 f10 f10 f10. Now if I'll evaluate eval SQL equals to select star from case 3pf. Now this is correct query. If I'll see SQL select star from case 3pf, this correct length is 21, clearing this one. Now calling the QSQ checks API again. Exception ID is blank, so API is executed successfully. Now if I'm checking the message ID, so it is blank, so there is no error in this TS. If I'll see this, so we have this value but populated, but we can, if we'll see in the row error syntax or column error syntax value, there is zero value, there is no value, there is no SQL message ID, there is no SQL state, there is no replacement length, replacement message length or replacement data. 5 F10. So here I'm not going to give that message or error that this SQL is syntax has error. Now we can see that how we can validate a SQL query using QSQ check API, which is internally calling a DB2 for IBM MySQL parser. So now we have the power to invoke a DB2 for IBM MySQL parser in our program using this API. And I think this is a very useful video for all of us who have a requirement to take input full SQL query and from anywhere, like from a screen or from any other program or from file, and they just want to validate whether that SQL query is okay, that syntax is okay or not. So they can use this API, and this will be very useful for them as well. So they don't have to go for a wrong approach to execute that query and check the SQL code, which is a wrong approach, because we are not going to execute that query, we have to validate that query. So for validating anything or the query which is a source, actually we can say, so we need a parser. So we don't have our own parser, so we will be using the parser created by IBM. So so we are actually calling the DB2 for IBM MySQL parser internally using this API. So we can make or take leverage from this API and can invoke this parser in our program to check or validate the content of the SQL or validate the SQL query at any time. So thank you and have a nice time.